Here's another one of those stories where I don't like to talk about because it involves the torture of children and two not capable parents. Well, one of them is the parent, the other one is not. So in this picture, you see two people, if you even want to call them that, by the name of Nathaniel Pope and Alicia Watson. And these two right here were involved with her 3-year-old's murder, in which Nathaniel beat this little boy to death. I'll put his picture in the thumbnail. And well, I'm gonna just read the title, and that'll put it in perspective. Murdered 3-year-old Kermarni's last day. Tyler's mother holds his hand and takes him for McDonald's hours before he was beaten to death by her drug dealer boyfriend after weeks of cruelty at their hands, as she is convicted of allowing his death. That is the title. Yeah, that was the whole title. But I'm gonna go ahead and read the article. CCTV captured the final moments of Tyler's life as he held hands with his mother just hours before he was beaten to death by her drug dealing partner, and she was convicted of allowing the tragedy to happen, as she should. Kermani, Watson Darby suffered a catalog of horrendous injuries in the weeks before his death, which were so severe they were likened to those of a car crash victim. Did y'all hear that? A car crash victim? That's how badly he was beaten. Convicted drug dealer Nathaniel Pope, age 32, was found unanimously guilty of murdering the 3-year-old at his home by a Birmingham Crown Court jury on Tuesday. Kermarni's mother, 30-year-old Alicia Watson, was cleared of murdering her son but found guilty of causing or allowing the child's death. Each was also found guilty of multiple child cruelty counts. Heartbreaking CCTV played to the court shows Watson and Kermarni walking to and from a medical center appointment where she claimed he had a stomach bug, and visiting a McDonald's just hours before he died. I don't know about you, but if someone had a stomach bug, the last place you want to take them is McDeath. I wouldn't even want to go to McDeath even if I was perfectly okay. It comes as it can finally be revealed that Pope had a history of violence, having served 4 months in 2011 for attacking a young mother on a London bus. Oh, so this is overseas. I'm sitting here thinking that this happened here in the States. This was overseas. Pope dragged the woman off the bus by her hair and beat her after her pram, I'm not sure exactly what that is, accidentally rudged the pram belonging to Pope's then partner. Leslie Hager, Sandwell Children's Safeguarding Partnership Chair, said a serious case review into Kermarni's death, completed before the trial, will shortly be published. She added there were no identified safeguarding concerns regarding Kermarni prior to his death in 2018, and there was no children's social care involvement with him. But it's vital that sad cases like these are thoroughly looked at, in where there are areas for improvement, or that any necessary changes are made. She added, this is a deeply upsetting case. Kermarni was a victim of horrifying abuse. He was ultimately murdered while in the care of people he should have been able to trust to protect him. Our thoughts and sympathies are with all those who loved Kermarni. It comes as the court case revealed. Kermarni's body has 34 separate areas of external injuries which acted as a silent witness to the crimes. Killer boyfriend Pope was previously convicted of assault and drug dealing and attacked someone on the bus. Pope locked Kermarni in a room and used an electrical cable to keep the door shut. Jurors were shown a photo of Kermarni with an injury to his right eye, as well as one showing him eating near a clump of his own hair, which Watson claimed he had cut off. The chilling 999 call made by Watson after she found her son's body. A serious case review will be published into the deeply upsetting case around Tyler's death. Watson accused barristers of lying and dismissed the case against her as distinguishedly wrong. The jury, which convicted drug dealer Nathaniel Pope, was told some details of his criminal past, but not that he launched a sickening attack on a young mother on a London bus in 2011. Details of the brutal assault, which saw Pope repeatedly smash the victim's head into a handrail, drag her off the bus by her hair, and kick her as she lay on the pavement, were kept from the jury after he claimed they were markedly different to the facts surrounding the killing of Kermani, Watson, Darby. The bus attack committed in Hendon after victim's pram accidentally nudged his partner's buggy led to Pope being jailed for 4 months. Jurors were told Pope was convicted of common assault and was jailed, but were not given further details of the attack following legal argument. Prosecutors claimed Pope's actions demonstrated that he had previously participated in a joint assault with a female partner in front of and with complete disregard to children. Mrs. Justice Tipples praised the extremely impressive jury for their dedication and commitment throughout the 65-day trial, as one juror openly wept following the delivery of the verdicts. The judge herself became emotional as she further ordered the 10-member panel of 5 men and 5 women to be discharged from future jury service for life due to the awful nature of the facts they had to consider over 20 weeks. A 4-month trial followed where the jury was told Watson and Pope, who blamed each other for the witness box, were partners in crime and continued to live together for several months after Kermarni's death. Jurors found the youngster died from abdominal injuries on the afternoon of June 5, 2018, after his rib cage was crushed at the couple's 2-bedroom flat in West Bromwich, inflicted by Pope. But also among the fatal injuries to Kermarni's body were 4 rib fractures believed by pathologists to have been caused up to 4 weeks before he was killed in his home in West Bromwich. Pope, who was jailed for 4 months in 2011 for a brutal attack on a young mother on a London bus, claimed in court that he had not seen or heard the fatal attack on Kermarni. Jurors were told Pope was convicted of common assault and was jailed for the bus attack, but were not given further details of the attack following legal argument. The former warehouse worker has previous convictions for burglary and possession of heroin with intent to supply, and was found with a rock of crack cocaine hidden in his buttocks when he was released for murder in March 2021. Watson, said to have 0 to 100 temper, became angry while giving evidence blaming Pope and claiming she only lived with him after her son's death because she doubted the medical evidence. During the trial, it emerged that she had bought cannabis and spent money on driving lessons as Kermani lost his nursery place due to lack of funds. Expert witnesses said the youngster was already in pain from serious injuries when, hours before he was beaten to death, he was taken to Watson to a walk-in health center, where she told a nurse her son was being sick, had a high temperature, and was not eating. Notes from the visit suggested that Kermani, who was given medicine for a suspected stomach bug, had been vomiting for 5 days and was not his usual self. Opening the case at the start of the trial, prosecutors Tony Badenoch, QC, said post-mortem examinations revealed that Kermani had sustained horrendous injuries both that day and on earlier occasions. Alicia Watson cut a defiant and angry figure during much of her 6 days of evidence, accusing barristers of lying and dismissing the case against her as distinguishedly wrong. On the 5th day of her testimony, the 30-year-old suffered a nosebleed and told the jury she was mentally, physically exhausted and was done with giving evidence. The trial judge at Birmingham Crown Court then allowed Watson to complete her testimony by video link at H&P Falston Hall in Derbyshire, with the end of her cross-examination limited to just 1 hour. Watson had always insisted that at trial that her son Kermani must have been attacked by a former lover, Nathaniel Pope, while she was away from their flat, but also claimed that she had no idea how he suffered broken rib cages. During questioning by Pope's QC, Jonas Hankin, she spoke of being pissed off with some of the questions ranged at her. During his time-limited questioning of Watson, prosecutor Tony Badenoch, QC, asked her to account for 34 non-medical related external injury sites found on Kermarni's body, including some containing multiple bruises. Asked how many of those injuries had been aware of, Watson replied, none. He had old scarring from accidents, but nothing new as far as I knew. I didn't cause them, I didn't see them, and I loved and cared for my child for 3 years. Claiming to have been horrified at learning of Kermani's internal injuries, including damage to his abdomen, Watson repeatedly denied lying. Mr. Badenoch put it to Watson that she had not been living with a secretive child abuser, but acted with Pope to abuse Kermani for days, months, and hours on end. Before I go any further, this reminds me of that show For My Man that comes on TV One. This is a whole For My Man episode. Just saying. Watson said the Crown's case was distinguishingly wrong, but jurors unanimously convicted her of child cruelty in causing or allowing her little boy's death after a 65-day trial. The injuries were evident both externally and internally when a post-mortem examination was determined. Now, there's a whole lot more there, but I'm not going to read every last thing because it's a very, 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 it goes even more. As you can see, this is a very lengthy article. What I'll do is I'll post it and you can read the rest for yourself, but it gets even more worse from here. As you've already heard, it's already bad. But these two, both of them ain't shit. Lock them up and throw away the key. Now, like I said, reading this, I didn't realize that this happened overseas. That this happened in London until they mentioned a London bus. Of course, well, that's the only place you'll most likely, of course, find that. But these two, both of them are trash. Both of them. They both share equal blame in why this little boy is dead. Her more so than anything because she chose to be with this guy. Now, this guy's not the father of the child. This was a child that she had with somebody else because they never specified that this was the child's father. She knew what this guy was involved in. You can't tell me she didn't. And then she allowed him to do it and she went right along with it. So they share both the blame and they should both get the same amount of consequence and torture if it comes to that.